All right, we are welcome back to another edition of LFG, our unfiltered podcast of franchise education and good stuff. For those of you that don't know Leanne Caruso, which is probably most of you, she is my co-host right here. I joke. I am in a happy mood. This is actually cut number 2, people, where we said, you know what, we're going to turf the last one. And let's just start over from the beginning. And I'm actually kind of sad we did, because I had Leanne on video admitting that she is a grumpy mom.
Oh my God. I did not say those words.
That piece, can you edit that back in? You woke up and you were like, What did you say, Leanne? What did you say?
I just said I was grumpy this morning. I'm tired. I'm just really tired.
And I said, you don't say.
Oh
So I'm glad we could get that piece back in there. But,
good.
Now
So thankful.
Is, fake as can be, as all the people that you...
Oh my God, Michael Hyam.
I'm joking. Oh my gosh. It's good to be back. I feel like we haven't recorded in like a little bit, right? It's been a few weeks.
I think it has been a little bit, yep. But we're recording 2 today, so that's exciting. Gonna get ourselves caught back up. It's the holidays, and today we are lucky to have Greg Cook and Dana from the Entrepreneur Source, and I think they're launching something new and exciting. So I don't know if it's you heard it here first, but I can't wait to hear what it is.
We are
I know
excited. Always a pleasure to see my good friend Greg, and and we're gonna have Dana on too.
And the Entrepreneur Source is a big supporter of Franchise Assembly and the franchise show.
Yes, they are indeed. Not just a supporter, but huge sponsors, exhibitors, vendors, and our presenting sponsor. They are phenomenal. I love the entire team, and you'll hear about that in a little bit. But before we get to Greg, Leanne, how you been? What's going on? Why were you so grumpy this morning?
Oh my God, I'm just tired. That's all. It's right before the holidays now that we're recording. And I've been traveling. I got off on a plane at like 11 o'clock last night. I've been Houston, Vegas, Toronto, Key West, all of those fun places. It feels like in the last 3 weeks, and it's just exhausting. Plus all the Christmas stuff, the client stuff, the Let's Grow prep stuff. Just tired, just sleepy. That's all. How about you?
Gotcha. I figured you're like, oh, it's right before the holidays and you're grumpy. So I was like, oh, little Miss Grinch, Leanne. Gotcha. How about me? Nothing crazy. I'm not grumpy. I'm happy, and I'm actually headed your way. I was actually looking forward to having a little bit of a staycation. Sorry for me moving. I've got my little baby right here who is begging me for tickles.
Do you want to clarify that that's a dog?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't call her a dog. She is my favorite in the
She's
whole
your princess.
world.
I know.
Yes, she is. This would have been a good time to have the doggy emoji thing. Can we have that pop up somehow? No,
I don't think we're that technologically advanced over here.
No, I'm headed your way. I was actually trumped. I wanted to have a nice staycation at home, holidays at home. Right now it is Hanukkah. Thanks for wishing me a happy Hanukkah, Leanne. And
I most certainly have, just not publicly. My goodness. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I really got trumped, and here we are. We're headed your side of, not your side. We're headed to your state, just the other side, and we'll be heading over shortly. You should come visit.
I think I'm just plumb out of time, but maybe.
That's her way of saying, hell no.
Maybe I'll bring Lila. She can play with your girls.
Too fun. All right. Well, Let's Grow Canada was fantastic. Do you remember that?
Great. We were just there. I do remember. Feels like a blur now, but it was really, really great.
I was like only 2 weeks ago.
Was it?
What were some of the highlights, Leanne? What was your favorite part about Let's Grow?
Well, first of all, we had an MC for Let's Grow, which was kind of fun. And Vern Gonsalves, who jumped in like last minute to be the MC was just a ton of fun. He sang and he made walk-up songs for everybody, and I thought he brought a little bit of life and energy to it. And then we had some really great speakers. We had Ford Sakes, who talked about AI, and Kyla Dufresne from Foxy Box. She had a really fun story. The propertyguys.com story, which was very, very cool from their like beginnings
Ken
before the internet.
LeBlanc is his name, in case you forgot. Yes.
Yeah, Ken and Jeremy, thank you.
Go.
Oh my God. Anyway, it
You
was a
don't need to
great,
call me that. Keep going.
great event. We've gotten really great feedback, a lot of good energy. Dip Chan hosted a party at their offices, so it was all very, very good.
Oh my gosh, the recap. That was a good recap. Yes, it was a lot of fun. And Cass and Alex and the
Yeah.
whole crew. I mean, there was some fun panels too. I had a
Yeah.
really good time, and it's really stoking me for Let's Grow. I can't believe it's a month away. The flagship, the mainstay, Let's Grow Dallas. Here we are, 6 weeks away. I'm
I
excited.
know. I know. It's exciting.
Very exciting. And yeah. So and Art Coley, right?
Yes, Art Foley's
Masterclass.
doing a master class at on the last day. It's a half day master class for 20 executive Fran Dev professionals. I think we have a few spots left, so if anybody's interested, please sign up. It's well worth it. And Art is amazing. And the people in the class who've signed up already going to be like your new favorite peers.
So art
Very
is
exciting.
amazing. Like, have you been to that class that you know it's amazing? Is that what you're
I
saying?
know it's amazing. I
Hey, folks, I'm just keeping it real here. For all I know, it's a crappy. I'm just
Oh my
joking.
God. No,
I kid,
I
I
was
kid.
kidding.
Art Coley is phenomenal, a great human being, and a great person. All right, enough with the nonsense. Let's move on to franchise royals. This week, Leanne, who do you got?
Well, my franchise world this week is Susan Black Beth. She's made a few announcements on LinkedIn, but she's launching a consulting service called Auspicious Owl Group and a podcast. So that's soon to be coming out. I'm super excited for her. She's just, if you don't know Susan, she's just a freaking delight to be around, but super, super smart in franchising, has a ton of experience both as a franchisee, franchisor, investor, consultant, yada, yada, yada. Very smart. Very excited for Susan.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to check it out. And Leanne, did you notice the logo here on my toque? Do you know anything
Oh,
about this?
I noticed.
Okay. Who do I have in my royal? Well, I will tell you, Leanne. You know what? I was saving this because I figured what better time when we have our friends from the Entrepreneur Source. It's hard to pick just one, and even just now, like literally an hour before the recording of this podcast, where we're about to have Greg and Dana on, Mark Butler sent a note via email saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be on with you, but have a great podcast." I really wanted to just highlight the entire crew from the Entrepreneur Source. They are wonderful people. They are just a light of shining greatness. Mark Butler, Susan Stillwell, Marissa, one of my favorites. I mean, you're all my favorites. Greg Cook, of course, Jackie, Dana, Eric, and all the coaches. I could name them all. I mean, I can't name them all, but they're just a wonderful delight. And Leanne ruined the whole, they're our presenting sponsor that I was going to say, now, but but yes, they are strong supporters. They are advocates in the franchise community, and just a real good group of people. And super excited to have them on. And they are all franchise royals.
That they are. All right, before we head to show and tell and talk to Greg and Dana, let's take a moment to learn about our podcast sponsor, Subtle Strauss.
Franchisors love Subtle Strauss because we protect their brand standard across all marketing channels. Z's love our marketing platform because they can customize, print, download, and mail brand right collateral for their local market in minutes. Want to see how it works? Connect with me, Karen Wenning, on LinkedIn.
Oh, thank you very much, Subtle Strauss, for that. And so we are now back with I was just saying, the meat and potatoes of the podcast. For those of you that follow us, know that It's our show and tell segment. Show and tell, of course, is where we have industry leaders, experts in their field, thought leaders who are going to shed some light within a certain sector of the franchise industry. And we have a couple of our favorites. Leanne, who do we have?
Today we have Greg Cook, member strategist, and Dana Besbris, coaching and training specialist at the Entrepreneur Source. Well, welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
All right. So we haven't had you guys on. We have had the Entrepreneur Source on actually a couple times, but so excited to talk to you guys about ZorCoach. I can't say it. I have not said it right yet, right? But anyway, tell us a little bit about the Entrepreneur Source and what you guys are launching with ZorCoach.
Yeah, certainly. And Leanne and Michael, always good to see you all. Thank you for your partnership. And it's always good to see you guys out on the road. You know, TES has obviously been around for a minute. You know, we've been around in business for now more than 40 years, 42-ish, I believe. In that time frame, we've connected over 1,000 franchise brands from virtually every single industry to tens of thousands of franchise clients. And on top of that, we're also a franchisor ourselves. So we have over 250 franchisees. So we have a very well-rounded understanding of franchising. We see it from both sides of the coin, both growth and operations. And so glad to be with you talking about one of our initiatives that we launched earlier this year, ZorCoach. And ZorCoach is a program that is designed to help emerging brands or franchisors that have been stuck in their franchise development growth and give them a path forward in which they can control their own destiny, attract the right individuals into their franchise, and create a sustainable growth model.
Excited to hear all about it. Dana, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. As the training and coaching specialist at the Entrepreneur Source, I was tasked with helping to develop the ZorCoach program. So what we have done is taken 41 years of our experience, as Greg mentioned, and seeing the struggles, and built a 5-week program that will really help accelerate new growth for and help them also support brand new franchisees.
It's great. And so this is like franchisors sign up with you to help kind of build out their development strategy, initiatives, team.
Yes, exactly that. And also learn how to support their brand new franchisees as they onboard them. Yeah,
that's really great.
And so I know you mentioned, so this is for emerging brands. Talk to me a little bit about what was the creation behind it? Did you in the franchise world, was there something that led to this? I mean, obviously there needs to be lots of development, and newbies need to know, trying to learn so much is it's a whole thing. I mean, talk to me behind the vision.
Absolutely, Michael. I think there's several things that went into the creation of the program. At TES, we have one of the largest franchise referral groups in the country, one of the most successful. And as a result, we'll meet with 60 to 80 micro-emerging brands every year who would like to utilize our services. And unfortunately, those conversations kind of end in the same way. Love what you're doing, you're just not ready for us. They may be incredible operators, like understanding their industry inside and out, but they don't have a development experience. They wouldn't know how to award a franchise at all. And even the steps that are involved in overcoming objections, kind of just actually putting systems and standards in place. So they have no idea on how to consistently attract, educate, and award franchises. And we're blessed to be, one of the premier sponsors of the National Franchise Show. We attend several of those, get to meet with a lot of emerging brands there as well. And I know I've seen Leanne everywhere. I've been traveling for years. I go to conferences, industry events, and expos. And outside of the people we meet, I see that this isn't an isolated problem. In my opinion, it's systemic, and it's really unfortunate because these brands have a strong desire to grow and utilize the franchise format business model for expansion, but they don't know how to pitch a franchise, and then when you take the added layers that we see, look at the third-party data that comes out annually. I think the one that I kind of key on, there's two that I key on, but the first is the Franchise Sales Index. Fran Connect puts that out every year. For several years now, what you've seen is when you combine all of the different lead sources out there, you have an average conversion rate of less than 1.5%. So let's add on the most recent data that came out of October out of the Franchise Leadership and Development Conference and Franchise Update's annual Franchise Development Report. And what we see there is the costs have just exploded. The cost per lead now is at $351. When you look at acquisition, the cost per acquisition with marketing dollars was roughly around $14,024. Now it's hovering around $18,000. That's just,
Crazy.
You have a situation here where you have low conversion rates year after year, skyrocketing marketing cost, and inexperienced franchise development teams trying to compete in a crowded space. Someone has to come up with a solution, and that's what we did with ZorCoach.
And I would add that, we also realize that these emerging franchisors, they need help quickly, right? They don't have time to start from scratch necessarily. So they need help quickly and affordably. So in just 5 weeks, ZorCoach gives franchisors everything they need to build a values-driven franchise award experience. We've designed a highly implementable program that can be launched almost immediately at the end of the course at a price that franchisors will easily recoup multiple times over with their first franchise fee. So it's fast, it's efficient, and it's affordable.
Yeah, and I would say there's an added layer to this. I'm sorry, Michael. I would just say there's an added layer to this too when you look at kind of franchising as a whole. And we know this to be true. Every year, hundreds of brands come online. And unfortunately, every year, about the same amount goes offline, right? And so if you look at franchising over the last 10 years, there's really been no net growth in the total franchises that are available in the United States. And so we've been seeing that. We've said, what can we do to solve this problem? We've been in business for 40 plus years now. Many would consider us pioneers in the industry. And I felt it just kind of became obvious that we really had a responsibility to step up, to give, emerging brands and brands that may be stuck a fighting chance. And so, as Dana was saying, we're helping them to create a disciplined, repeatable, professional franchise development awards experience instead of them having to go and learn the hard and, as we just saw in the numbers, expensive way.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these franchise brands are set up for failure because they don't have the right processes, they don't understand it, they don't have the right capital to really. So if you're setting them up from the beginning and you can get to those, are you working primarily with the CEOs or the Fran Dev teams or both? Because I think the CEOs really need to know what needs to go into this.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think that the CEO is the Fran Dev guy, when it comes to these emerging brands.
A lot of them,
There's no team, there's no anything, and that's half the battle. And you took the words out of my mouth, Greg. I was going to say, like, when I see a lot of new brands being on the trade show floor, they come in, they're excited, they just got their FDD, they're ready to go, and then they have no idea. I mean, we try to coach them in a booth what to do, but they don't know, as far as a follow-up or a funnel or a CRM, or, they might still be making the pizza in their shop. They're not having no idea or business acumen on what to go, where to go next.
Yeah, I would just say, that's the hardest part in talking to a micro-emerging brand. They're raring to go. They worked with a great shop. We have some really good organizations who will look and see whether or not the business is scalable, help them, convert into a franchise. But the one thing a lot of the founders forget to do, and it's very difficult for them, mind you, is to fire themselves. you can't be working in the business and working on the business at the same time, right? And I think the ZorCoach, and Dana would probably be able to speak to this better than me because she's in it every day, which I love. But there's a new sense of confidence that comes out from these founders that, yeah, I feel confident that I can actually do this and do it the right way.
And I think too, for emerging brands, when somebody has the money and wants to buy, they get really excited and they want to sell to whomever has the ability to buy. And one of the things that we really emphasize is that this is not a sales process. And that is just developing a sales process could definitely set you up for failure, right? So we are talking about an awards process that really makes sure that the people they're bringing into the system are in alignment with their values and their culture and all of those things that we know will lead to early success.
So our industry is filled with consultants and advisors and coaches and fractionals and FSOs and brokers and all of the things. So what makes ZorCoach different?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because when you look at it on the surface, especially to the layperson, all of these offerings sound similar. At least to me, if I was just coming into this, I would believe that they're all the same. They're just using different nomenclature. I think the difference really boils down to this. The difference is how we work with the brands and what the ultimate end result looks like. And so with ZorCoach, it's not about telling franchisors what to do or giving them some rigid playbook that they need to follow. We're not consultants parachuting in, with some type of checklist that they have to follow. And we're certainly not a franchise sales organization trying to sell them units, So at its core, what you're looking at is a true coaching model, hence ZorCoach, right? So that was when we were kind of playing with the name, what do we arrive at? With ZorCoach, what you're doing is acting as a thinking partner with these brands. You're really helping them to take a step back, to slow down, to ask better questions and make better decisions ultimately. And I think that's really only happens, and we start to see this transition around week 3 of the program, where the focus really becomes mindset and leadership and what it means to have intentional growth and not just utilizing some tactics that have been given to you. So, the outcome of working with ZorCoach, we want to push you out of the nest and go grow. We don't want you to be dependent on us after the program is completed. We want you to have that, that level of clarity, confidence, that you can make the right decisions long after the coaching engagement ends.
I love that it's only 5 weeks because I feel like when they're in that stage, they're so overwhelmed and so in the weeds, and 5 weeks is digestible. And like you said, if they just kind of step back and they really lay the foundation, then they're better set up for success.
And one of the reasons that we can do it all in 5 weeks is because we provide franchisors with templates and tools that they can customize to get their program off the ground quickly. They don't need to create anything from scratch. So we provide templates for every award process presentation, from the intro call all the way through discovery or meet the team day. We help them understand how to scale that awards process as they grow by layering in things like franchisee panel calls and other things. We help them with validation and what that might look like. And then the really exciting thing for me is that we up the game by helping them develop a thorough onboarding and support program for their newly acquired franchisees, because it's not enough just to award franchises to the right candidates. You also need to support them at the highest level, because you want those first franchisees to be some of your most successful. This then sets the franchisor up for excellent validation, right? And Greg and I both realize how important this is. We've seen emerging brands sell franchises out of the gate, but not necessarily understand how to support those people and make them successful and get them off the ground. that in turn makes it harder to expand their system at that critical early stage.
Yeah, I would say that's like the now what scenario. When you're an emerging brand doing it on your own, you're high-fiving, yeah, we've got a franchisee. Now what?
Now what?
Like, now what? What do we do now, right? How do we get them open? Oh, we didn't think about that. That part hadn't crossed. We haven't gotten to that step. And that's usually where you experience this situation, and especially with a lot of brands that want to grow rapidly, where you get these enormous snow counts, sold not open, and that can create that rift. The franchisee-franchisor relationship is always going to be strained, but you want to at least start out on a good foot, right? And so having that ability to not only award, but actually get them operational and get them open and start actually giving them the support that you've promised, I think is critically important to growing that base. And as Dana pointed out, getting the validation that you need to continue to grow.
Yeah. So you've obviously put some Zors through the program. Can you talk to me about some transformations you've seen, after a Zor has been through the program? Talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's so great, and Dana probably would echo this, watching them complete the course and hearing from them, 3 or 6 months later, see how they're implementing the program into their business. I think when you talk about transformation, there's this kind of pivot where an emerging brand or a brand that might be stuck goes from being reactive to being intentional, right? And so we all know that a lot of these emerging brands they're in the chase mode, they're in the reaction mode, they're in constant reaction mode, reacting to leads. Hopefully, we saw that data point in the update, franchise update, annual franchise development report. Wasn't that great? Reacting to candidates, really reacting to whoever shows interest, willing to take the check, even if it might cause pain. And so you see this noticeable shift where there's that level of confidence. They're willing to slow down. It is a mantra with us here at TES, especially with franchisors. Slow down. Become more thoughtful. And really, when you make that shift from being reactive to intentional, now you're going to start acting with purpose. And so I think there's that confidence and clarity that comes up, comes out of the program, that they feel truly aligned with their brand's why. Dana, you want to talk about that critical aspect of the program and understanding the brand's why?
Yeah, absolutely. If they don't know what their values are, they're going to have a real hard time identifying them in others, right? So we take them through a process where we stop and make them think about, what are your values? What do you want your culture to look like? Because a lot of times, like Michael said earlier, right, they got the FDD and they think that's what they need to go and start being a successful franchisor. But they really do want to make sure that they're awarding people franchises that are in alignment with them, right? I mean, we've all seen it, right? We've all seen people bring into their system and they just immediately start bucking the system. Or sometimes you wonder, did they understand they were buying a system because they don't seem to want to follow it right out of the gate? And we really want to make sure that we help these emerging brands avoid that trap, right? So define these things that make your organization unique. Make sure you know your values, your mission, and your culture. And then you can really begin to say, what does a franchisee who meets this criteria look like? And they can start to more easily identify people that really would be a good fit ultimately for their system.
And once they understand the fit, I think that's when the alignment comes in, because you can actually train your development team, and I know they start off small, but you understand the fit. Now you can kind of peel back the onion on the candidate to really understand their needs, their motivators, what concerns they may have. So now you're creating a unique discovery experience that feels personalized rather than transactional. And that's something that is repeatable. That is a muscle that you can develop. And in doing so, what you're going to experience is higher quality conversations, better alignment, And ultimately, the most important piece of this whole deal, as we pointed at earlier, higher conversion rates. So you're using your time, energy, and money on things that you know are in alignment with your brand's why. Alternatively, once you understand that, and you kind of understand what the avatar or persona looks like, and that may be on a spectrum, a little bit of a moving target. But once you have that down, you're also going to be able to identify individuals who aren't a right fit for your franchise. As Dana said, some of these people come. If we say we want entrepreneurs, do we really want entrepreneurs? Are we really looking for entrepreneurs? Probably not. I don't want someone that's going to come in and be like, no, we should do it this way, that way, right? So that's probably not going to be a right fit. But until you have kind of this framework laid out, you're not going to be able to truly identify the right individuals for your brand. So you're not going to be able to prevent those problems. And those individuals may slip through the cracks. And if you're just accepting the check, well, they're definitely going to slip through the cracks. And guess what? 3 to 5 years down the road, when you're trying to evolve your franchise system, they're going to be a thorn in your side. That's going to be a major problem for you. And then what that's going to end up being is adding stress to your ability to continue to grow the franchise.
So true. So it sounds like you guys, with all of the experience that you have, you've definitely laid a good foundation for them. So and all the work that you're doing on a daily basis, as we head into 2026, what do you think are the biggest challenges that these franchisors or new brands are facing, at least as it relates to franchise development? And you mentioned the cost. That's obviously one big thing. Is there anything else that you're saying that we all got to keep an eye out for?
I would say that, Greg mentioned it, just learning, if you start right, you can become more efficient, right? If you know who you're not looking for, you can move faster, right? So I think there is something to being able to speed up the process. At the same time, it feels like you're slowing down, right? You're removing candidates that don't match you faster, right? And taking more time with the candidates that you should be spending time with. So I think, having efficiency is going to be a really important thing for these brands in 2026, and spending their time in the right areas, right? I think emerging brands often waste their time in the wrong areas with the wrong people. So that's one of the things that we're trying to help prevent with this program.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would think, in 2026, and it's kind of been a constant theme throughout, since the pandemic here, is vendor selection and what that process looks like and who you choose to work with. And I think with ZorCoach, once you understand your why, what your values and your culture are going to be, you should be able to interview and select partners, whether it be, digital marketing, whether it be PR. You obviously need a team behind you to tell your brand story. And so making sure that you're getting into relationships with the people that are going to be able to amplify what it is and the reason that you stand for and why you're franchising is going to be continue to be important as we move forward. There's so many different new solutions coming on board. I'm seeing a ton of AI vendors at these events, and how do I know which AI is going to be right for me? So I think that'll continue to be a moving target, and one that emerging brands should continue to focus on. You want to have people that can kind of create, become like a mini board. You do not have a board of directors right now, so identifying those partners once you've understood why you're doing this and why someone should get excited to be a part of your franchise system.
Yeah, and with the reputation that you guys have, I love this because you just brought back a few memories to me, like no joke, where some emerging brands have had nightmares, even before, getting the FDD and where they should go and what they should do, and having to redo the whole thing because they got bad advice or used the wrong supplier. That is key. So I really like that. Leanne is gonna she mentioned to you a little bit earlier. She threw in this rapid fire, so she's gonna take over. It's meant to be like 3-4 word answers, not like first thing that comes to your mind. Just say it. It could even be 2 words. Just and go. So Leanne's going to hit you with all the questions, and let's see how you do.
Just felt a little wild this morning.
Let's do.
All right. So I'll ask you individually, and then if you feel like you want to chime in on the other person's answer, feel free. But okay, Dana, one word franchisors use a lot, but ZorCoach actually means something different.
Oh, awarding or selling.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Greg, same?
I would have said selling as well. I think that it's this whole like idea that you're slinging, some widget when you're actually getting into business with someone that, could be longer than many marriages. We're talking about a 10-year relationship here, so you need to take it seriously. It's not selling, it's awarding.
Right. All right, Greg, the most common blind spot you see in franchise development leaders right now?
I think they get knocked off their chair when they realize what the average franchise development budget is.
True.
I think they have no clue that a $225,000 budget is necessary to grow your franchise, or that the cost per acquisition is $18,000.
Right. When you back into those numbers, they're like, what? All right, Dana, one behavior that separates franchisors who scale well from those who stall.
I'm going to go back to the awards process, right? And having that support in place before you bring them on. Those two things for me.
Greg, a belief about franchise development that needs to be unlearned heading into 2026.
So many answers to that one.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know where to begin. That's actually a really good one. It really did stump me. I was like, ooh, I'm trying to play nice here.
Right.
I want to play nice.
Hey, Greg, this is unfiltered podcast, so you can say whatever you want.
Oh gosh. You don't want that, I promise. I think we just have to realize that there's a human element here. And I think, what needs to be focused on is education rather than just slinging franchises, and really kind of looking at the human condition versus the transactional component.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dana, what's the most "this would never work until it did" idea you've seen in franchising?
Holy moly. What is it? Wow, Leanne. Okay. Can you repeat that for me again while my brain is, buy me an extra second. Will you repeat that for me?
What's the most "this would never work until it did" idea you've seen in franchising? I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of ideas come through.
Yeah. Dog hiking? That's the first one. We worked with a brand that is successfully growing walking dogs, right? Hiking dogs, and I would have never ever imagined that one. But it's amazing, and it's a really fun franchise. So
to that end, I would say dog poop scooping.
Yeah.
Which there's so many of those coming out.
There's so many.
Oh gosh, they're everywhere.
Can you imagine? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say that the one concept that kind of took me aback was, concierge services. So personal shopper franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you just give them a credit card and they go to all the high-end retailers. And I was like, wouldn't you want to express that yourself rather than having someone else do it for you?
Right. Is that a same concept as like personal assistant services? Like they're also doing like running errands or, kind of, is that the same thing or is that just simply concierge? Like,
I think it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
I think it could be all of the above, but just that component alone, like the shopping experience, I would think that you would want to do that. But, it's amazing. There's 300 different industries that utilize franchising for business expansion. I mean, at its core, it's just expansion without your own capital. I mean, that's what's so beautiful about franchising.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last one. If you could ban one buzzword from franchising in 2026, what would it be? Responsible.
Well, I think that one got banned, but I'm bringing it back.
It got canceled.
I don't know if I would ban something, but I would want, if I could do something in 2026, it would be clearly define what businesses that are in the franchise development space do. I think there's this big confusion between what a franchise referral group does, which is really a marketing engine, if you will, lower funnel marketing engine, versus a franchise sales organization. And I see like these two groups have somehow been married together, when in reality they're very, very distinctly unique to the services they provide a franchise system.
That's good.
That's great.
Dana,
if I could ban anything, I want to freaking ban AI. Can we stop talking about that? All day long, this, that. I literally had a sales meeting 2 days ago. Well, this is what you can do next, and this is what you can do next. I'm like, well, I thought I was the top sales guy already. Leave me alone.
I have no choice. I have a 14-year-old daughter. I got to keep up with AI, or she's gonna just blow my doors off.
Right? It's true.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey guys, this was amazing. And of course, everyone listening is now wanting to know. So if a franchisor is interested in learning more about ZorCoach, how can they find you? And of course, what's the best way to find both of you individually? Is it LinkedIn, or what's the best way? Go to the website? What?
You can definitely go to ZorCoach.com. That would be the best place for you to go immediately. You can also find ZorCoach on LinkedIn as well, and you can find both of us individually there too.
Awesome.
What Dana said.
What she said. All right, well, this is a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming on, and hope you have a very nice holiday and Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2026.
Thank you.
Likewise. Happy holidays. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it. We'll see you in 2026.
And our last segment of this podcast, by the way, Greg and Dana, you guys are awesome. Our last segment is Franchise Mingle, not franchisemingle.com, which I wanted to start up.
One
Watch
day,
out, Franchise Mingle, folks. Yes.
One day, franchisemingle.com will be live, and you'll be happy.
Yes, it will be one day. And you know what? I'm going to give a little secret out here about folks. We also have franchisingafterdark.com. Franchisingafterdark.com is, yes, you can go to the website. It's not up yet, but that is on the horizon. And give it a couple of months, and you can tell us what you think it is.
Oh my God!
Fun is coming out from your franchise assembly friends, and I just wanted to, it's always nice to give little sprinkles of what's on the horizon to make people nervous.
That one's definitely going to make a lot of people nervous, I think.
But I'm so glad we could buy Franchising After Dark and nobody did.
It's really strange.
Anyways, okay, so back to Franchise Mingle, which is our segment, of course, of what's coming up. We've already talked a bit earlier in the podcast about Let's Grow, your franchise and sales conference. We are so happy. It is literally coming up very, very soon. If you haven't registered, if you are in franchise sales, leadership, or marketing, you should absolutely be there. It is wonderful. And I think, Leanne, did you already talk about how we was rated within the top 5 best franchise events by Entrepreneur Media? We're so happy that people love it. And so you can still register. We have maybe just a few spots left. But yeah, go for it. But before that, we have our New York, New Jersey franchise show, which is literally a few days before that. And then we have the Dallas franchise show, which is a day after the conference. So anyone who wants to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, feel free to join the Let's Grow conference and the Dallas franchise show, because they're both there at the same time. As far as other franchise events where you can meet with prospective business buyers, you've hopefully seen our schedule for the year, but we've got Cleveland, Houston, Chicago, Orlando, New England, Baltimore, and Portland. So a bunch of new cities coming up. And what else do we got, Leanne? Anything else? Some save the
Yeah,
dates, maybe?
we can announce some save the dates for all of our events next year. We've got the Hello Mastermind Spring Retreat in Portland, Maine, May 18th through the 20th. Franchise Marketing Live in Denver, Colorado, November 2nd through 3rd. And Hello Mastermind Fall Retreat in Denver, Colorado, November 4th through the 5th. This episode is brought to you by Let's Grow, Franchise Assembly, Subtle Strauss, and the National Franchise Show. I hope you have a great week.
Thanks for joining us, folks. See you in a couple weeks.
Bye.